Our podcast is a part of the World Podcast Network, now with over 1,000 podcasts. Visit the World Podcast Network at worldpodcast.network to listen to podcasts in over 12 genres. Come vote our podcast episodes up and help us rise on the leaderboard. If you have a podcast of your own, you can join for free. Patreon, going strong. If you want to go over there and join in on the fun, we got 3 tiers on Canadian dollars. First tier is $3 a month, where you get these episodes ad free. You also get AMAs once a month, or Learn About Me episode once a month. And then on the second tier, which is $5 a month, you get everything from the first tier, as well as coverage of a reality show of yesteryear. That's right now Jersey Shore. We're currently in season 3. You can also go to the main feed, where there will be the first episode of every season released there, so you can try that before you head over to the Patreon. And then on the third tier, you get everything from the first 2 tiers, as well as coverage from a true crime documentary. We got the backlog of Ashley Madison documentary, Man of 1,000 Kids, Into the Fire, Lacey Peterson, and again, all those episodes for the first episode of each is in the main feed, so you can try that before you head over. So if you are interested, you can head over to patreon.com/realityt times 2, and you can sign up for whichever tier you feel for. Again, you can try before you buy, which basically means you can try any tier for a week before committing to it. Even if you are on if you are on tier 1 or the first tier and you want to go over to the second tier, you could still try that second tier for a week before committing to the upgrade. So again, that is at patreon.com/realityt times 2. And of course, the link is in the show notes, website, social media accounts. It's all available there. Welcome to Reality T times 2, the podcast where we discuss all the trash reality TV we love to hate. I'm Tanika, and today we are going to be discussing Hunt for Love. So before we hop into that, just to piggyback off of the Patreon announcement, just again as a reminder, the Patreon true crime episodes are going to be based around the fall of Diddy. I believe the free feed episode for that, which is just the first episode, coverage of the first episode, was already released on the 17th. So if you liked what you heard there, you can head on over to Patreon and join the third tier, which is at patreon.com/realityt times 2. And you can get the remaining episodes, as well as the other documentaries that have been going since February. But enough of that. We have one piece of hot goss for this episode, and this is in relation to Selling Sunset. Now, I believe the date has been released for this, I think. I'll see if I can find it. But let's just go through this article first. So, the sun is rising on massive deals and intense drama for the Oppenheim Group agents. Selling Sunset is returning for season 9, and with the new episodes come new faces. So in season 9, Sandra Vergara is joining the O Group, vying for the most exclusive listings alongside returning cast members Chriselle, Chelsea, Emma, Nicole, Alana, or Lena, whatever her name was again, Mary, Amanza, Brie, and obviously Jason and Brett. The O Group felt like the perfect fit, sharp, high energy, and full of people who are at the top of their game. Vergara, our new girl here, tells Tatum about the decision to join the team. Um, So, kind of just a look, I guess, of what the season's going to be looking like. This season, the pressure is at an all-time high as some agents might not have what it takes to keep their seat at the brokerage. Season 9 definitely brings some unexpected twists. There are some jaw-dropping moments you won't see coming. According to creator Adam DeVello, after a particularly explosive batch of episodes marked by social media drama, clashes among the cast, and lest we forget, a dog funeral, filming for season 9, picked up right where it left off. There was a lot of strife in the office and a lot of hurt feelings, so we pick up and try to get past that as quickly as possible and into new stories develop previously told Tudum or whatever the hell this website's called. Um, so let me see. Let's kind of skip past this and see when we have an actual date. 'Cause I did recall seeing that we had one, but let me just take a quick look. Selling Sunset Season 9 is returning on October 29th. So we still have a ways to go, but it's coming just a little bit from now, which I'm perfectly fine with because God, we are drowning in shows. Okay. So let's just head into the reason that we're here, and that's to discuss episode 6 of Hunt for Love. So we've left off with the date between Jennifer and Cole, and he basically says to her, which is just like, are we for real here? He says, I'm jealous of Chantel because she kissed you before me. Sir, you're being jealous of the wrong person here because the person who kissed her before everybody is Rob, although she told you she didn't do that. So when he says this to her, she's like, yeah, I know. Yeah, it's my first kiss here, bitch. Like, you're really going to flat out, like, what's the point of lying? The thing that gets to me with her, and we see this kind of moving forward in the other episodes, is that she's like, I can do whatever I want here. Like, we're, like, committed to anyone here. I can do whatever I want. It's none of your business. So then why not just own it? You know what I mean? Why not just own what you do? Just own it. There's nothing wrong with that. Anyways, then they kiss, and that's that. We basically see all of the singles playing Flip Cup. I think they're on like a beach or something like that while these dates are going on. Chantel said that her champagne date, which we didn't see in the last episode, we saw a quick clip here. She said it was fun, although I don't know how she could say it was fun, the way things seem to have been going. But she says that Rob was just a little too hung up on Jen. We see a clip of him literally talking about Jen, and it's just like, then, I mean, listen, I think it was maybe dumb to take him on the date, but at the same time, why is it fun when he's talking about another woman? Anyway, Chantel starts working on Tim. This is probably the most action he's had in a long time. Then we start doing push ups between two of the men. I can't remember who the men were. I think was it Carlo, the black guy there, Jay or Jim or Brando? He's a Brando. And then May as well. So she joined in on this, which is like good for her. And she's keeping up with them. It's good for her. Anyways, Colt and Courtney end up talking about like the whole Usman drama. Colt admits because before we get to that part, he or she says to him like didn't I saw you guys talking on the beach. Like what were you guys talking about? Seemed pretty heated. And he's kind of like telling her but not telling her at the same time because I guess he doesn't want to make a big deal out of it. But when when I guess she kind of gets it out of him, he does kind of say, oh, he's just kind of up in his feelings because I think he thinks that I like you like more than a friend. And she's like, well, do you like me more than a friend? And he says, well, yeah, I do like you. And we kind of see like this thing is kind of happening, I guess, between them. But then we're getting interrupted by hell's bugs. Okay. Lucifer says, boom, and just put these disgusting bugs into the ether. Okay. Apparently, and I'm not going to Google this because I don't want to have nightmares. But basically, these fuckers are cockroaches with fucking wings. Ew. I mean, I'm not going anywhere. First of all, knock on wood, I have not encountered a cockroach. Okay. I don't think I have. But I think I would know. But knock on wood, I have not encountered that. I would rather stay in a place where I will not encounter that. Okay. What I really don't want is to encounter that with wing. Why did God Almighty, or whatever you believe in, give these ews wings? What did we do as a human race to deserve that? Disgusting. Anyways, they look like someone actually said, I think it was Chantel says they look um archaic. They did. They looked like archaic. They looked like they belonged in the Ice Age movie. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, we then see Cole in Jen's room. We see Courtney and Colt in her room together. But it's getting a little bit intense. Not much is really happening with Colt and Courtney. They're just having fun. But on the other hand, it's getting pretty intense between Jen and Cole. It's basically a repeat of her and Rob. Literally. Like, listen, I think she had sex with Rob, and I think she had sex with Cole. And listen, I don't care. Do you, boo? You want to have sex with this, that, and the other? Go for it. Like, you only live once. But again, I feel like I'm not going to judge. I don't like her, so I'm going to judge her. I don't care. But I feel like it gets to a point in life where you're just like, this is exhausting. And maybe I'm just at a point of life where this is exhausting. I'm 34 years old, and I can't imagine being with this guy and that guy literally nights between each other. Like, I did that in my 20s, and it's fine. I did it in my 20s, whatever, lived life, and it's all fine. But you literally get bored of it. Not her. You know what? Kudos to her. But it's just, again, I don't give a shit. Do what you want. But it's just like, own it. Own that you've had sex with Rob. Own that you had sex with Cole. Just own it. And it's not about having people in your business. It's just like, it's the blatant lying and gaslighting that we all have an issue with. Anyways, we're then at some outdoor gym thing the next day. Colt and Carlo are talking about Tiffany, and Colt kind of just being like, listen, she's a really good girl. She's been hurt, all this. Like, she had a really, because of, if you only knew the man she married. Okay, he is an asshole. Okay, he literally told her 7-year-old son, kidnapping my boy. Like, seriously. Like, he sucks. Um, Usman seems to be kind of hanging out with one of the randos. We've seen a little bit of her, not much, but this rando's name is Nikki. He seems to be hanging out with her a little bit because, and we're going to see here, he has a little bit of a strategy. And his strategy is, maybe I can see how things can go with Nikki. Since Courtney is all about Colts, then I'm more of a man than he is. And for whatever reason, she's choosing him over me. So then I'll just, check out what's going on here. So listen to me. Listen, like, Usman has absolutely zero game. He doesn't know how to talk to a woman. He doesn't know how to try. And I'm stealing this from another podcast, but this is the kind of person who didn't need to because he had and I love you, Kimbali, but, like, he literally had women like Kimbali who are throwing themselves at him. BGL. So he sings a song about you, and you're like, "Oh my god." You know what I mean? Like, so when he really has to try, he doesn't know what the fuck to do or how to talk to somebody. And you don't go up to a person who you just started talking to and literally say, "So how about coming to Africa?" The fuck? Like, listen, nothing against going to Africa. I am, like I've said, dating an African man. But I feel like if I was talking to him and the first thing he says to me is, "So how about going to Africa?" I'd be like, I don't e I don't even know if I like you. You know what I mean? I don't even know if I want to be in your presence. You know what I mean? Maybe if we grow upon the connection we are currently building, maybe in the future I can consider. 8 years later, I'm considering. You know what I mean? You're not gonna figure that out though in the first few minutes. But that's what he goes to you. How about it? And she literally tells him, like, ask me after the second date. Still too soon. But anyway, he's like, well, would you go on a date? She says, yeah. He said, listen, I got two reasons. I got two jobs. Who remembers that commercial? Who remembers that commercial? Was it Halls? I think it was the Halls commercial. Yes, it was the Halls commercial where the man in the Halls do good. I got two jobs. I'm the hottest working Gandhi in town. I'm a tropical fruit candy. And okay, fun fact, I met him. Fun fact, I met that guy um when I was a kid because I loved those commercials. They were my favorite commercials. Um, we knew someone who knew him, and that's how I met him. So cool. Anyways, moving on. But anyways, he's like, I got two reasons to ask her to go on this date. Number one, she's beautiful. She's gorgeous. Like, this is a person I would love to take back to mom, for her to meet. But number two, I'm also trying to get Courtney jealous. So if I get Courtney jealous, then I won't really need to pursue Nikki. Oh my God. The leaps and bounds that this man will take, but he won't ask Courtney on a date. Because all she's literally saying is, take me on a date. And he can't even do that. It is ridiculous. So, anyways, we're setting the scene of Colt being a little bit clumsy. He apparently fell earlier. As we know, he had a really bad trampoline accident that caused him to have many surgeries on his knee. Um, so I'm kind of setting that scene because, again, at this point, the episode has already happened. But as we know, we were seeing scenes of someone having to go to the hospital and blah, blah. And we all kind of knew already it was Colt. But we're setting up that scene, right? Sorry, spoiler alert if you didn't know that. Anyways, we start talking this whole Rob and Elise situation, or well, talking more Rob. And Elise says, people think that I've had sex with Rob. Like, have you heard this? I'm like, wait, the fuck? People are literally thinking that Rob and Elise actually went through with having sex with each other. When my question is, how did we get here? Because Rob won't even talk to her past them, like, making out the first night. And both parties are literally saying nothing happened. So, how? But then Tiffany kind of comes in here and she's like, well, I thought that my neighbor was Rob. So she's basically, I guess, trying to say, she's heard things, whatever, at this neighbor, thinking it's Rob and thinking the person he's with is Elise. Turns out, though, it's actually not Rob's room that she is beside. It's Jen's. And she says that there was, well, Chantel says in true Karen fashion, was there hotivities? Fuck your sakes. I mean, I guess you can take the Karen out of the Chantel. You know what? Never mind. Like mother, like daughter. That makes it more simple. So, yes, Tiffany has confirmed that there were sounds of hotivities happening in Jen's room. We love a little hotivity this time of year. So Elise is like, I think I need to talk to Cole because clearly Jen's room where the hotivities are happening is happening to Rob. And everyone is thinking it's Elise, but it's not Elise. It's Jen. And Tiffany is pretty confident, and Carlo, because this part of this happened when they're actually on their date, their little mud jar date. Tiffany's pretty confident that the sounds of hotivities wasn't just a finger or maybe even a tongue, maybe some humping over the clothes. This was full blown intercourse. You get the picture. So this is why Elise is like, I think I need to talk to Cole. And then here comes Cole after his night of hotivities with Jen, which that's the thing is like, we don't even know what happened, really happened between Jen and Cole. Like I said, I personally think she did, but who knows? Meanwhile, before we get into the whole Cole situation, or no, we're in the Cole situation. So Carlo and Tiffany go talk to Cole first. Because they were the ones, like I just mentioned, were the ones that heard Robert and Jen at the pool. So this would have been the same day where they were talking about, I'm going to beat you in Mario Kart. It was that day. So they're kind of breaking it down to him, telling him, they're at the pool. There's definitely sounds of hotivities happening. And they're trying to basically tell him, like, this is what we think is going on. Everyone is trying to tell him, you deserve better than someone who's going to lie to you because, listen, at the very least, if there's sounds of hotivities, doesn't necessarily mean it sucks. It could be other things of hotivity nature, right? That's the word I'm going to be using from now on. Thanks, Chantal. Anyways, it could have been anything. And so at the very least, though, Cole, she lied to you about kissing Rob. At the very least. She told you she didn't kiss anyone else here besides Chantel before kissing you, but that was a lie. And she has just been at the very least caught in that lie, right? So that should be grounds for something. But instead, it's not. It's like he's kind of letting it go. Um, But he says, like, I don't think that they had sex. Okay, fine. You could think that they didn't have sex. Maybe you're right. But like I just said, she said to you to your face the night before, I have not kissed either you or Rob. None of you have been kissed. Where that's a lie because she did kiss Rob multiple times. Maybe even kiss parts of the body that most of us have not seen. Some of us may have. I don't know. So, at the very least. Um, and he makes this other excuse, which is like, okay, yeah, it's partially true, but why would you subject yourself to there's one thing to okay, so let me just say what he says here. He says, maybe she just wants me to chase her. Okay, so fine. Let's play devil's advocate here and say yes, maybe she does want you to chase her. And on the one hand, chasing someone can be toxic, but as long as there's some sort of end game with that, I don't see anything hugely wrong with that, on its face. But what she's doing here isn't just making you chase her. She's lying to you, she's manipulating you, and you're letting her. And why would you want to chase? Don't you sometimes just want someone to chase you? Or not even so much chase, but to have equal effort between the two of you, making an equal effort to build a connection? I don't know. A cult is like, He must be colorblind because he ain't seeing any of these flags and they're red as hell. That was a great line. Thank you, Colt. Anyway, Cole goes to Rob's room at this point to talk to him, and he goes and he talks to him, which is like, this was a bad move. I thought watching him walking back to the resort area that he was going to go find Jen and talk to her. Why, why it possessed him to go to Rob, especially a guy like him? This isn't like someone who's reasonable. This is a person whose mind frame is very similar to Jen's, narcissistic. I want what I want. I get what I want. I will manipulate my words to make sure you believe me, even if I'm bullshitting. This is Rob, and it's no different than Jen. You're not going to get shit from Rob. But even if Rob was a reasonable person, he owes you nothing. So why would you go to Rob? It was a weird choice, in my honest opinion. But that's me. But he basically tells him again, I don't think he gives a shit. But he literally tells him, I feel disrespected because like neither of you were open with me. First of all, number one, neither of them need to be open with you. You're not owed anything by either person. Like she's not committed to just you. She's getting to know you. You might be her number one, but we're so new in this process, I guess, that they owe you nothing. Number two, Rob really owes you nothing. If he's going to pursue a person who's pursuing him, he has a right to do so. If he wants to have sex with this person, he has a right to do so. But he doesn't need to tell you shit. So this whole thing about neither of you are open with me, the person who you want loyalty from isn't Rob. Honestly, isn't Jen. But for argument's sake, we'll say you're barking up the wrong tree here. Um, and then he kind of throws us out here, which is like, so we're basically shaming him for, something that was he's been shoved into. But Cole says to him, it's like, it looks like, you're getting over a divorce and like you're steamrolling me. Steamrolling you? No, no. Rob isn't steamrolling you. Jen is. This is the problem. You mistake who the perpetrator is in this situation, and it's not Rob. It is Jen. And she's the one that's steamrolling you. It's huh. Um so he basically asked Rob in this moment, did you guys hook up? Again, the fact that he thinks that Rob is gonna tell him the truth is it shows that he's naive. It really does. And of course, as to be expected, Rob says no. We didn't even make out. We passed out after playing Mario Kart. We're back to the Mario Kart of it all. This is ridiculous. And this is what I mean. It's the blatant lie. It's the forceful lie of, oh, we didn't even make out. We just passed out after playing Mario Kart. Like, no, you didn't. Anyway, Joe comes up to Chantel. We're taking a swift left turn here. Comes up to Chantel, and my man just takes charge here. It's kind of hot. And is like, listen, I'm going to set up a date for us to go on, and we're going to spend some quality time together. I loved it. I loved it. It was hot. He's young. Like, he's 25. That's almost 10 years old, younger than me. Oh my God. Anyway, we do that, and we'll see the date in the next episode, I believe. So we're doing this social media critique workshop situation. Not everyone's going to be there. Tim, will they find something incriminating for him? No. That's on my MySpace, 2003. That's when you can find the stuff that is scandalous. Tim has this pic though on his Facebook page of his ex. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a red flag. Now, I think the ex was, it looked like Veronica, but it could be wrong. Actually, no, it wasn't Veronica, but I do think he has pictures of Veronica on his social media. But yeah, everyone thinks it's a red flag, which I agree with. I do agree having a picture of your ex-girlfriend on the on your Facebook page is interesting. But again, I think like I don't know. There's some people who have issues letting go, and I get that because I do have some pictures of my ex-husband on my Facebook page, but I compromised because my boyfriend did see them and it bothered us many years ago, but it bothered him, whatever. And we compromised. I said, okay, instead of it being one of the first things you see, I'm going to remove that. Cause I didn't have like a featured tab or something on Facebook. And a lot of my pictures were, you know, being featured. So I basically made the decision to remove them off the featured. So at least then they might still be there because they mean something to me. And I do get that. But they're out of sight where they're not going to be seen. And hopefully, it doesn't come. But if my partner also wanted me to remove the pictures, I would do it. I would remove them because that's what you do. So I do get it. Rob is next. Not much there to talk about besides the fact that he has pretty pictures and no pictures of his asshole. Then Elisa's like, "Hey Jen, you stayed a night with him. Does he still look like that?" Wow. Then a fight happens between Colt and Rob due to the disagreement between Jen and Elise, because Jen also comes for Elise too, basically saying, "Well, you went after him," like blah blah blah. Like she's just being a bitch. Um, then Jen hit hard and is like, "Are you just jealous because you have no connections with anyone here?" And that's what she said to Colt. That was really mean. That was really mean. That's what she does. She hits hard when she knows she can. Anyways, that is it, guys. That is it for this episode. The next episode will probably be episode 7 for Love. Jan for Love. But yeah, that is it, guys. That is it for his episode. So if you like what you heard, please rate, review the podcast on either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Also, don't forget that you can also share us with everyone in your life if you really love this. And I do want to read those reviews. I'm definitely getting 5-star ratings, but I want to read those reviews. So send me those reviews and I will read those 4 and 5-star reviews on the podcast. Also, we're on every one of your favorite podcast apps. Every one of them, including you can find us on YouTube at Reality Tea Times 2. If you want to connect with us, you can do so by going to either Facebook or Instagram at Reality Tea Times 2. You can also find us on Twitter, TikTok, Reddit at Reality Tea Times 2 Pod. We also have our email, which is at realityteatimes2 at hotmail.com. Definitely want to hear from you guys. And we also have our new website where you can listen to all of these episodes. You can review the podcast on there as well. You can connect with me in any way, all the stuff. It's all there. And you can find me there at www.realityteatimes2, all spelled out, dot podpage.io. It's there. And don't forget, I also have my other podcast with my friend Mikkel, Next Take Podcast, where we talk about all kinds of different topics. But you can find us on any of your favorite podcast apps over there as well. Or you can also go to YouTube and you go to Next Take Podcast, as well as our website, which is solo.to/Next Take Podcast. So yeah, there's that, and that's basically that. And again, don't forget, if all of this information is overwhelming, we do have all of the links, everything in our show notes. But that is it for now, guys. Thanks. Bye.